Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about Wendy Williams. I learned that she has aphasia and frontotemporal dementia, which is a very slow declining type of illness. It's very sad, and I see comments that are so disheartening and people telling her she deserves this for being a gossiper. And while I understand that even in the Bible, being a gossiper is condemned, we still have to be real with ourselves and acknowledge the fact that there are so many gossip gurus out there that you're not condemning. And I'm not saying condemn these people. I'm just saying y'all are the same people that will sit there and watch a show of some gossip guru talking about your favorite celebrity or public figure and spilling the tea on them for an hour, and then shut off the TV and go on the internet and look up more gossip and more tea so you can sleep at night. Let's be real. There's so many people that tune into these kind of creators, right? These type of public figures that talk about people, but they're ashamed of admitting it. Kind of like how people back in the day would be ashamed of reading the National Enquirer. Y'all will buy those magazines and say these magazines are bad, but then still have that same magazine on your countertop. It's kind of like when people talk bad about corn stars. Now replace the C with a P. They talk about corn stars. They will treat a corn star like trash, but in the same token, go home at midnight and pleasure themselves to that, right? You will play with your fidget spinner and your hot dog sandwiches to a corn star, but then turn around and talk trash about those same people. If you were to see them on the street, you would drag them for the lifestyle they choose to live. So this is the same way I feel about when people talk about gossipers that are public figures. You guys sit there and watch their shows, watch them take people apart because y'all are so invested in other people's lives. And then when something bad happens to them, you condemn them. Now, I know it's in the Bible that being a gossiper is wicked. Okay, I get that if you're going by the Bible. But even with that being said, isn't it also wicked to wish harm on someone, to be happy for their demise? That doesn't make sense to me. A lot of people like to fight fire with fire, evil with evil. That does not make sense. Wouldn't that make you as horrible and as trashy as those people you're talking about? Think about it. If you talk trash about a corn star and then go home and beat your schmeat to the corn star, doesn't that even make you worse? Because they're doing this as a job, and you take advantage of the fact that their job is being exploited, and you do it for free. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't pay any dollars to see clips on YouTube or TikTok of any of these people gossiping. So it does bother me that people say horrible things about Wendy Williams under her pages, under her YouTube, under any content that you see Wendy Williams on. It's not nice. It's not nice. So a little bit about Wendy Williams. She was born July 18th, 1964. She is an American broadcaster and media personality and a writer. And she also hosted her very nationally syndicated television talk show, The Wendy Williams Show. But prior to that, she was a DJ, a radio DJ in New York City at the Shock Jock. And she spent a lot of time talking to different artists, different celebrities. She always had the tea. She's always been pretty rough around the edges, very talkative, goofy, but I consider her a very strong-willed person she has a huge personality. And one thing I love about Wendy is that she doesn't hold back. And again, I don't sit there and gossip about people. But do I watch Wendy Williams' show? Do I watch the whatever his name is, Lee, whatever? He does gossip. I watch his stuff sometimes, but that is a very rare occasion. Okay, Wendy Williams, I watched her more often than not because I really like the way she speaks and how she expressed herself. I thought she was funny and I love her accent. She has always had troubles. And I think, well, I know she definitely had some body image issues when she was younger. She was bullied. She was always put on a diet. By elementary school, she was a very large girl to her, you know, in her opinion, she was very large. She was very insecure about that. She still found a way to find her voice. And I think that's why she created this great big personality and got on the radio and shared that with the world. And you can't deny that she's a very entertaining woman. She just is. She considers herself a very multicultural kind of lady, even though she's Black. She's around so many different people. She always wanted to mingle and get to know people of all walks of life. So I can see why she views herself as that kind of person. Sadly, she got in a relationship in 1999 with a man called Kevin Hunter, who was supposed to be her manager, who was supposed to be someone she can trust. Okay, she married this guy. This guy decided to play games, have an affair, get a side chick, get the side chick pregnant, all that stuff. And he wanted to take her to the cleaners. And I believe that Wendy Williams is the kind of woman that loves hard. She loves hard. She has a big personality in the studio and she has a big personality at home. That's who she is. And I think that she really loved this guy, Kevin Hunter. And Kevin Hunter took advantage of that. And he probably knew a lot of her insecurities. He probably knew a lot of her secrets. And he felt as though he had something over on her. And somehow he's managed to pull it off, to hurt her deeply. And I know people are always saying, well, you know, she has money. She could have just left. She could have just that. Yeah, but when you're being emotionally abused for a long time, it's hard. I've been in those situations. I think that Wendy really wanted to keep her family together. You know, her son, her husband. She didn't want to get another husband and all this other stuff, but that didn't work out. Her ex-husband had other plans. And while she's going through all this stuff in her relationship, she probably was also going through a different fork in the road when it came to her career. You don't always want to stick to what you thought you wanted to do. Sometimes you change your mind. You want to change the course of things. And when the relationship started going downhill, it almost pushed her to change the direction of where her life was going and leave her talk show almost by force, because we saw what happened. She fainted. And usually with dementia, the first fall is the beginning of all the problems. And I feel bad for her because at the end of the day, I watched her on TV. I've seen her almost all my life on TV. So it's hard for me not to feel for her. It's very disheartening to see what's happening to her because dementia is one of the most hardcore illnesses out there. A doctor explained that a lot of people are trying to be vegan and they're not eating the right things, and our brain needs certain proteins in order to keep the gray matter from coming prematurely.
Well, Wendy Williams has dementia, FTD, the same kind that Bruce Willis was diagnosed with. This is very unfortunate. And I think it's something that we're going to start seeing popping up with celebrities. It's already an epidemic, okay? There's people out there with family members going through it, and you know the deal. This is not easy. And I don't like talking about it and exploiting a celebrity. However, this is a very teachable moment. Your brain needs fat. Your brain needs cholesterol. And most people are on statin drugs, which brings those levels down. Most people have gut conditions and they're not absorbing. And in Wendy Williams' case, from what I understand, she was a very notorious drinker, and alcohol affects the brain. And she also did not eat meat. She was eating fake meats with the oils and the bad ingredients. And this is a horrible recipe for a brain condition. And we have to start.
And also a nurse explaining what dementia is.
Diseases like dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, they have a staircase decline, meaning they are meeting a new plateau. They're living right here with this new normal, and then suddenly something happens. It's usually a fall or some kind of infection, a UTI or aspiration pneumonia. When this happens, their health will decline. And they'll be down here and they'll be at a new normal. Watching someone slowly decline and slowly deteriorate, slowly change over time, it's just really hard to watch and care for someone like that. So the two things I said that can cause that steep decline at first are usually infections. So a UTI, which is a urinary tract infection, or aspiration pneumonia, which is when you inhale little food particles into your lungs, which can happen a lot with people with these diseases. Confusion and agitation and restlessness that happens a lot in the beginning stages of dementia is not really present at the end. Every once in a while, people with dementia will be in the actively dying phase and be restless and agitated. But I would say 9 times out of 10, the agitation, the restlessness, the confusion is gone at the very, very end. And the person is usually just sleeping and peaceful. Let me show you some things to look out for so you can kind of catch these things early. The best thing you can do each time you change your loved one, if they're bedbound, would be to check for redness. And I'm going to show you some pictures now to show you what the redness might look like. It's usually on the buttock or the upper part of the butt. You'll see some redness. The heels. Skin breakdown is one thing I do see a lot with dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. Why do we see it? It's usually because they eventually become so debilitated they are bedbound. When you're bedbound, you are laying down a lot and there's pressure points on your body that can get pressure wounds.
It gave me a lot of insight on not only how bad this is for Wendy, but how she's really not being taken care of. I saw her foot. I've seen how her feet look. I've seen how her body's looking. And something's telling me that the end is very, very near. And she's only, like 59, 60 years old? She's quite young. But when you're not eating the right food, and plus you're abusing alcohol, it's making things much, much worse. I'm sorry if you guys hear like weird sounds in the background. I live by Disney, so you're going to hear fireworks. But yeah, I'm seeing how her skin is looking, like her feet. And it's telling me it's near. It's near. The documentary she wanted to come out with was canceled, because I feel like the people on her team are really just exploiting her and trying to get every last dime that they can out of her before she goes. Because they look at her like she's a nuisance. And that's horrific. That's terrible. But I don't know how she treated people outside of work or at work. I don't know. But I don't think anybody needs to be exploited and put out there like the way Wendy's being put out there. It is incredibly hard to watch. I think a lot of people look at her like a cash cow. And because she doesn't have her TV show anymore, it's better to get rid of her because she's worth more not here. And that's not right. This is also what happens when you're a celebrity and your head is so in the clouds and you surround yourself with yes people and that's all you want around you. And then those people go ahead and feed you all the things that you want to hear and give you all the things you want to consume instead of being real with you and tapping you on the shoulder and saying, this is not right, this can't keep going, or this is what's going to happen. But then there's celebrities out there that have such a big head that they just don't care. They're like, I want what I want or you're fired. And people are scared of losing their jobs. I 100% understand that. However, it is still very sad that this is happening. I hope that she has a moment of clarity and she stops drinking, because I know she's still drinking even though she shouldn't be while going through this whole situation. She has a thyroid problem. She's going to psychiatrist all the time. She's going to this doctor, that doctor. Her thyroid problem is bad. Her eyes are protruding insanely, bulging. It is very dangerous to have a thyroid problem. I had one too when I was younger, but it was the opposite. I would get extremely skinny. I had no desire to eat. So with her, I don't know if that's what's happening, if it's overactive, underactive. Either way, it is a very dangerous malfunction in the thyroid that sometimes you just can't come back from. So Wendy Williams, she has been awarded before. So the Billboard Radio Award. The Billboard Radio Award, she won, and that was in 1993. And I believe she did get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and also National Radio Hall of Fame. She was inducted in 2009. Also a People's Choice. I think she was just nominated for People's Choice Award. And she did win Urban Personality of the Year. She's gotten a few awards. As far as films, she did The Cookout 2, Think Like a Man, World War Z, Think Like a Man 2, TOO. And then Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. As far as television, she's done Martin, New York Undercover, The Wendy Williams Experience, The Insider, The A-List New York, One Life to Live, Drop Dead Diva, Dancing with the Stars, Braxton Family Values, Love Triangle, Mob Wives, 30 Rock, Sesame Street, Tamara and Vince, The Dr. Oz Show, The Chew, The Neighbors, Good Day LA, Law and Order Special Victims Unit. And now she did The Masked Singer. There's a lot of things she did. As I said, it is very sad what's happening to Wendy, and I really wish that we would have more compassion for her. But I know that a lot of people just aren't going to. However, I do hope that Wendy Williams rests in peace the day that she goes, and that she leaves peacefully when she does, and that someone lets her go to the next life with grace and with humanity, because the way they're doing her right now, it's deplorable. I wish you well, Miss Wendy Williams. And on that note, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.